Tour team, welcome back. Welcome to Bonneyville on Transport Fever 2 with me, your host, Long John Silver. How are you? How are you all doing? You're doing well? I am glad to hear it. If you're doing well, hit that like button. And if you're doing super well, why not subscribe? And if you're feeling awesome, you could always decide to become a member of the channel or flick me a super thanks for this particular video, whichever you choose. Anyway, here we are. We're back. Bonneyville. What's going on? Well, we got money, as you can see. 336 million, which is great. I've been doing some stuff, and we'll just have a look at it in a minute. One of the things I've been doing is sorting out some of the lines and stuff. So where there is like Arrecife fuel trucks, where there is an awful lot of a need, I've been going through and checking just exactly how many vehicles we have on that line, and then sort of checking out whether we need more. What that means, or what that sort of highlights to me possibly, is things like this need to be made bigger. So this is fine, but it is posing a problem, and look, this hopefully will get better as time progresses, because each one of these little trucks only carries what is it, five, right? So we'll get trucks later on that'll, one truck will be the equivalent of 4 or 5 of these things, and then we won't have as many trucks running for the same amount of stuff. Obviously, we will need to move more stuff and everything else. But anyway, the point is, 2 platforms here. It's a bit of a nuisance. So this probably needs to be at least another 2 platforms out. So there's room for expansion and growth. And given that we have 335 million, that's the kind of thing that I need to take into account, because places like Arrecife here, we're not getting nearly enough fuel, and it's not because there's no fuel here. We're getting some fuel now. I got 300 fuel there, but that 300 fuel is not getting here, and that's what's hampering us now. Is we're reaching a sort of a finite limit of the ability to supply, because look at all these trucks. We got all these trucks coming in here, driving through, making Arrecife particularly unhappy from an emissions perspective, I think. Where's our emissions here? Yeah, well, it's good, it says. Minus 10%. It's not too bad. We've been up and down. We've had a big up and then a big down. I don't know what causes that, just out of interest. This is our line usage and various other bits and pieces. And this is where we're getting things from. And this is, I don't know what this is. This is what does this do? Land use, residential. I don't know what this adjusts. Does anybody know? Do we have a help button? Where's the help button? Oh, I don't have any. Cargo, commercial, industrial. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is about. If anyone knows what this is about, do feel free to let me know, because I don't remember ever looking at this before. Was it here before, or is this new? Because I don't. Look at that. Is this something to do with the mod that I've got? Because it looks like here I can adjust what people want, which is crazy. I mean, I don't want to do that. I want to leave it how it is. But it seems like if I wanted to, I could adjust things. I've got commercial. All right, and then we've got the bands for land use for residential. So when you are choosing whether the city needs 2 needs, 4 needs, or 6 needs, this is what it comes down to. And you've got custom cargo. Ooh, interesting. There you go. First time I've looked at that. You saw it here first. At least you saw me see it here first. Anyway, so we've been doing all of that. We've been having looks. I mean, because look at this stuff. This is mental. These are all trucks. What's your problem? Why are you empty? You're arriving empty. I can get that the guys going back are empty. Maybe it's because I was monkeying around with some stuff over here. Oh, we've maybe got too much, because there's There's definitely not enough fuel here. Although I was increasing the length of this train. So he's Antiquera fuel supply. So he's coming in there. So he's 175 units long. And what does this need? Antiquera fuel supply. Yeah, is he the only train on the Antiquera fuel supply? He is 25 units long. Now keep an eye on him because he's approaching the zenith of his usefulness for that volume. And I changed a couple of the train lengths. We've got some pretty long trains here. The Reva's Oil and Bricks trains are pretty lengthy things now. They're bringing 231 oil. I think. Where is my Reva's Oil Bricks truck? Is this he? No. Is this you? No. Where is there one delivering? Because if there is, you'll see just exactly how much nonsense it's carrying. They go up this way. Is it you? Reva's already 231 barrels of crude. So he's carrying 231 barrels of crude up here, which is why I'm starting to get a bit more oil and various other bits and pieces up here. So you can see that we're starting to get a lot of things stacking up that we need to start adjusting. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing stuff like that, and it's highlighting we're getting to the crunch time for some things. These hubs need to be way longer. Right, these things need to be much longer. This one needs to be much longer. I keep moving the junctions further out because the trains are so long they exceed the length of the station, but they need to be a bit longer, is what they do. And I've been monkeying around with truck stops as well to try and make them longer. I had to make this one a lot longer. Yeah, and there's trains here. I made this train a lot longer, but it turns out he's probably now a little bit too long. 179 out of 189. He's 25 long. I'll make him a little bit shorter later when he's gotten rid of his stuff. So there's that. Over here at Palencia, we are getting some things that are happening. We have food coming in, and I've put more food trucks in place. We have this place, which is now producing. It needs more, of course. We have this place, which is also producing, but needs more bats, of course. We now have things here like fuel and stuff. This guy is just picking up some plastic to take it back, so that's great. So we've got things happening there, which is all well and good. We have this train, which is the oil train. So he's delivering a whop load 189 to the refinery. So that is good. The refinery must be chunking its way through it. So, potentially we need more than one train, or that train needs to be an awful lot longer, and we need more than one train, because he's going to drop this all off, and that's going to all jump up. But then they chug their way through this so quickly. That it's just amazing. So this will be used before he's even cleared the station. That's crazy. So there's that. We have food building up. We have some wheat building up. We have some oil building up. We're getting some steel here, which is now building up. So we need some more steel trucks. How many we got? I only put on 5 to start with. I can easily double that. If not triple it. So we'll throw on 15 trucks. It might cause a traffic jam. We'll see how that goes. And they're all heading over here to this chap S over here. We got a lot of steel over here, which is great. We could do with more plastics, but yes, plastics are a bit of a multi-stage process to get to. We have our steel train, which is, as you can see here, loaded up with steel. This is a new train, which is why it's showing as a negative. Where's my older train? This is my older train, 1.8 million, but he'll also probably end up getting a little bit more from me. The steel, we're starting to whittle away at the steel, or at least we were. It's come back up again because I nearly sorted out the coal. The coal's on its way in. These coal trains, coal trains, 217 each. There's 2 of them. I mean, I need to keep making them longer. I just need to I need to make this train station longer because I need more. I need more. I need to keep this up to really keep this steel up. But it's doing okay. It's not doing too bad. You know, and we have stuff over here. This is now tailed off a little bit because I'm now bringing in wheat from the other side of the map. So the demand here is it has dropped off a little bit, which is odd. But anyway, there you go. And we're probably overselling food down here. Although this guy has headed out with a full load of food, so you know we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. So that's all great. Down this neck of the woods, I haven't really been doing much. We have a little abundance of food stacking up. These guys are getting some bricks, which is awesome. I really need to get them food, but I haven't sorted that yet. And down here we've got a collection of things happening in terms of tools, machines, the wood, the everything else. So this is all stuff that needs a little bit balanced out. They're not getting nearly enough oil. Those oil trucks, how many of those we got? 5. And they're in bad condition. Well, we may as well replace those. Hey, look at what we got here. We got these little steam trucks. So let's have a look at this. The steam trucks. So we've been using this guy for here. And carry 5. They go at 20 kilometers an hour. And they can carry everything. I mean, lifespan is 3 years. So now this guy carries one more, goes 5Ks faster, and lasts 50% longer. Pardon me. So we need to think about these little guys for some of our stuff. This will also do oil, which is fine. We've been using the flatbeds, so we'll stick with the flatbeds. So you know, I think with this guy here, you know, you're saying it goes 1/4, so 25% quicker. So it should do it should do what is that? It should do twice as much in 4 runs, basically, is what we're saying because it theoretically goes faster. So in 4 runs, one of these should have done one more load. So that's 12 over 10 ish, I think, if my math is right. So we're not getting a vast amount more, but we're moving more a little quicker. And we're gonna at least double that, and I think in fact triple it. So we're now getting into the steam-aged vehicles because it's 1894. I probably should have said that at the start. So we now start to think about, okay, is it time we started changing up some of these vehicles and things that we need to change up? That probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, right? So we need to start thinking about stuff like that. And these trains, I haven't optimized these trains. Are they optimized? How much wood is he taking back? 57 and 28. So he probably could do with taking more back. That is freight 2, is it? Yeah, coleslaw freight 2. And down here on freight 2, we got 220 machines. So we're making quite a few machines down here, it seems. And they're not getting to the market where they need to get to. We're not getting to Tomaloso because he's just expanded. We're not getting them to Vildecans. We're not getting to where we need to get them to. So there's stuff that we need to do down in this part of the map in terms of just balancing things. So everything needs a little bit of balance. Some things are more balanced than others, but we do need to keep in mind that we do need a little bit of balance in things. And a couple of other things have occurred. This has occurred, which is an interesting occurrence. So we have this thing here. So we have coal right next to steel, which is going to be good for supplying trucks because they don't have to go very far, so they can move very quickly. And then we have the ore over here, and then we have wherever it is that we need steel to go to, which is kind of down here. But there's also like ore and steel manufacturing down here. So, and there's another coal over there. So this little this little conglomerate here has become very interesting because in theory with a bridge we could like connect up a hub here and we could be picking up some coal on this side and some ore on this side and dropping it off here to make steel and or we could also be making steel here and bringing it over here. Um, Not that there's much that we could be taking back this way, but there you go. So there's that has happened, which is something of a little bit of an interest to me. Um, this has happened up here. I say this has happened. I happened this up here, depending on how you look at use of the English. I happened this thing up here. So I cleared out the roads. Remember I talked about it anyway, and I was like, well, jeepers, because we got wheat, we got rocks, we got oil, we got wood, we got more oil. You know, we got this whole line here that actually we can wend through the valley, which is what I did. You could wend this whole thing through here and bring it all up and attach it with now this northern line up to Ubeda because I don't want to rely just entirely on these bricks. I want bricks up here, so I want to get rocks up here so we can start making bricks. And we also have, you know, like a lot of plastics up here that we could be refining oil and throwing refined oil up here to be transported round to Palencia. So we could absolutely do that. We could absolutely do that. The wood, don't know. It's not really necessary for us up there. There's not really anything that we need it for. There's not really anything at Colomnor Viejo needs wood either, but it might be something to bear in mind. We could always just run a little line down here and add more wood to the timber plant if we wanted. I don't know. Just think about that one. And the wheat, we can chuck the wheat up here because we've got a food plant up here, but and we're also moving wheat over here for this food plant over here. And I'm sure I'm sure Columnar is going to want food at some point, you know, and Villa de Cans wants food, and we're moving food around. Palencia wants food, Arrecife wants food. We've not really ticked that box yet. So we could put in a hub down here, which is what I did this for. I put this train track in so that I could have a look at it and go, well, where would be the best place to put a hub? And it's sort of right about here. We could put in a big hub there, and then we could run various vehicles to wherever various vehicles need to go to. And we could even bring the rocks down here, and we could bring the wheat down here, and we could do everything else. So we can definitely do that. That's definitely doable. And then we can connect that up to both Ubeda and Villa de Cans, and we can decide what we're going to do with that in terms of what we're moving and where we're moving it to, right? Because there could be some benefits to running through the hub, you know. So the hub picks up some things here, runs up there, comes back down, maybe comes all the way through hub, drops off at Villa de Cans, picks something up, or whatever, you know, and so on, whatever the situation is. So that is definitely there. That is definitely something I need to have a look at, and that is something that I definitely want to do. And that's about it. Oh, and the other thing was boats. So the other thing I want to look at was boats. So we have this factory here, and we have this here, and I could whop a port right here that would pick that up, and it would take it up there, and I could probably put a port hub here, and it would drop it directly off, and then all I need to be doing is running boats up there. Now, I wanted to check out what size of boats that we could run, because obviously making money is about boats. So we now have pretty big boats. I mean, I say we now have. We've had boats for a while. This is the large boat that you get from 1850. The only issue I have with the boats is, gosh, they're slow. Yes, they're traveling in a straight line, and yes, they will always travel at that speed or travel at because they're not going uphill, right? They're always, there's no currents and upstream and downstream. They go at the speed they go, and that's how they go. And we've got these here. So we got this will carry 100, that'll carry 90. This one's faster, the Donara Castle. Um, and it lasts, 12 years. So we get a bit of life out of it. So we could be running that up there. And if we brought food down, we could be supplying Arrecife with food, right? Directly from the port. So we don't need to go through running food from various other places, etc. We could set up a little port hub down here and a little port hub up there, and we could just be running big boats. Couldn't we? We could be doing that. I'm sure we could, right? And then, I don't know, is there other stuff that's along the coast that we could then say, well, if we're doing that, now that you're saying that we're doing that, we could be doing things. So there are a few things to think about and a few things to do, and some of that is stuff that requires a little bit of headery scratchering. So it's 1894. So times are kind of ticking along, and we're going to get into the stage where some of these things need rebalanced and checked and stuff. And like I said, with the way that time flies. Although, did I change this? Yeah, we do have the speed down as slow as we can. It's the equivalent of like 1 year for a train to go all the way up here and come all the way back again. So by the time I've watched it to determine, is it big enough? It's like a year has gone by. I'm like, what? So this is when it starts to get, when you're doing some of this like more balancing stuff, is when time starts to fly by between decision making processes, because you're like, well, I need to watch this for a while to see if it happens. So that is some stuff that I need to do. So what I want to do first, what are we going to do first? What we're going to do first is I'm going to set this hub up. And I'm not going to do it in time lapse because you've seen me do it before. So I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to set up a hub here, similar to all the other hubs that I've set up before that look like this, right? Or probably the bigger ones that have been setting up now that look a bit like that. Either way, I'm going to set up a hub here, and we're going to connect that up to Ubeda, and we're going to connect it to Villa de Cans, and we're going to at least start moving something. I need to go through and make sure that these train stations are long enough. Some of them are very definitely long enough. Some of them are not. Some of the older ones I've had to extend a bit, but I haven't finished tinkering them off. Like this one probably needs to be a little bit longer. These are all the ones that are just, and certainly this one and this one need to be longer. I think that one's fine. I think these other things are fine. I think this one, pardon me, needs to be finished off. So there's a few things of tinkering that I need to do to tidy a few things. And then, as we've seen down here, there's a few things like balancing of trucks, replacing trucks, having a look at where we could replace trucks with steam trucks and so on. That will be useful and beneficial. And then we might look at the port first. I might just do the port first with you, and then we might have a look at this later. But that'll probably be it, really, when I come back and kind of show you what I've done, and then maybe do the port. We might have enough time to do that together. So there's quite a few things to do, and I'm getting on and doing them. Honest Injun, I swears, Governor Cora Blimey, isn't that a lot of claret, and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm doing all of that, and I will come back to you after many hours of my life have been spent sorting this out. But from your perspective, it'll just be a matter of seconds. So I'll see you soon. Ta-ta! Right, hello, welcome back. So here we are. Here's what this hub is going to look like. I've managed to connect it directly up to this oil, but it just won't connect up to the logs or the refinery. It's just a little bit too far away. There might be too many complexities going on here for it to be able to work that out. But anyway, this is what I've done. I put in some marker roads for the things we're going to do. I haven't finished setting it up. I'm just conscious that I'm running out of time to get this video finalized, and it's taking me quite a bit of time to go through all the usual kind of nonsense with setting up bridges and connections and various other bits and pieces. That's the stuff you have to go along with setting up. So I need to set up, you know, some truck areas for the wood and for the oil, and I've left some bridges so that the oil can, so we can locally supply the refinery as well as also pick up oil and take it out of the region. And the way these industries are set up is quite good because I can put one transport depot in the middle and service both of them. So I need to set that up as well. I just put that in as a marker. That's the exact point at which it just connects with both of them. Too much to the left and you want to get one, too much to the right you want to get the other. So I've put that there to set that up, which is great. I set up this twin one because I've said to you the length of these is limited. You can only do 20 long, but obviously this is a very big station, and it also gives me a little bit more flexibility, right? I can bring the logs in this side, I can bring the rocks in and the wheat in the other side, or whatever the situation is. Anyway, a little bit more flexibility for things that we can handle and trucks that we can move, etc. If I ever want to bring ore over here, sorry, coal over here and all that. And this is really just a drop off, so it doesn't actually need to be that big, but so I could just plunk that in the middle. It's also kind of lumpy bumpy on this side, and I didn't want to ruin the terrain. I mean, you know, the terrain is part of the feature, and we've got these, you know, bridges and stuff, and I kind of like that. You know, not everything needs to be just super flat. Sometimes you need a little bit of verticality, right, to make it a little bit more interesting. So I've done that, and I've piled these things in as much as I can, and that's okay. And I ran up the line. What I decided to do here was I just left it. I mean, I put in 4 tracks because, again, functionality and stuff. So when it comes out here, what I've done is I've like melded these all together into the 2. So it's just a case of going through the logic of, you know, making sure that you have this crossover after this point, and then making sure you get your signals together. And I did that on both ends, and I did it just to give it enough kind of distance so that it looks kind of natural and flowing and doesn't look a bit stunted. So anyway, that's what I've done there. The rest of the places, I did say I was going to make these bigger, and I have made it bigger. I've added in another set of tracks. I've made it wider. I've made it longer so that it can handle longer trains. It took a little bit of faffing around, and the same down here. I've pulled the oil supply out on its own line, so it sits completely separately, which has helped clear up some of the congestion in the area because it was getting a little bit congested. So that's pretty good. So I've managed to do that, and the same with the rest of them. I just went through and made the stations that needed tweaked over here a little bit more complete, and sort of finish them off, as it were. For now, finish them off. This one doesn't go any further because there's a lumpy bit there, which is, you know, which is fine. Again, verticality. So that's great. So I went through that. I've changed some of the trains. Some of the trains are a little bit longer. Some of them are. I added in an extra train over here. I wrapped this one up. I double lined it, and I had to add in an extra train because this is just simply wasn't getting enough. It is now. So we're hoping to increase the steel there because we've now got more coal coming in. The ore is not a problem, it has been the coal. So there's now 3 trains running down here, and they're not small trains either, 217 each. So that's supplying that. But I mean, as you can see here with this, it wants at least 600, so that's fine. So we're over 600, so hopefully that should keep it supplied and maybe bump it up to the next level. If we're lucky, we'll see. So that's that. Is everything balanced? Gosh, no. I need to go through and do a whole balancing thing. And like I said, I have been replacing some of the vehicles with the little steam-powered things. Toot toot. So we got these guys going along here. Is anybody loaded up with stuff coming back? Yeah, these guys are loaded up with stuff coming back. So I've got some of these have been replaced, but I will be going through and replacing them as they come up to be in bad condition, which is fine. I did put them over here because this is a steep hill, and these have quote unquote twice the power. If you're thinking about tractive effort and power, um, than the horse and carriage. So this being a steep hill, hopefully this means that this will produce a little bit more because we can get stuff coming in a little bit quicker. We seem to be getting there, but I probably need to add in more vehicles. But again, work in progress, work in progress, work in progress. But that's not why we're here, is it? We want to have a look at these ports. So we want if you've not done ports, I'll run this through. I'll run through this for you because ports are a little bit of a nuisance if you don't quite exactly know what you're doing. We'll probably move that out of the way. So this is in the wrong place. That's where I want to put my port, which is fine. So we need a cargo harbor to start with, and I want to make sure that it like practically joins up with this. So we're gonna put it there. Now the question is, do we want it? Do we want it to line up with the coast as it is now? I don't think we can turn it around a little bit, so we could line it up with the road. Um, but we'll need to see how that we. Oh, have I got it the wrong way around? Sorry. Oh, it's a bit of a nuisance, this stuff, isn't it? Right, there you go. Let's turn it around slowly, 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 slowly. Right, so we could. Just want to check the alignment. So we could line it up with the road, which wouldn't line it up with the waterfront. What do we prefer the look of? I think I prefer lining it up with the actual industry. And we're going to have to get rid of that field, and I honestly just don't care. Um, but if we line it up with the edge, it looks like that. Oh, where does your OCD level sit? Where does your OCD level sit? Mine is I wanna line it up with the road. I just need to get in here and see if that's. I think that is lined up with the road, and we'll line it up with that's kind of middle of the road thing. So I think that's the middle of the building, and we come straight out. We'll see how far out we can go. Bearing in mind that there is a road there. Um, how far in can we go? Well, let us go in quite a bit. Let's go in there. Right. So what I then want to do is, because we need to connect this up with a street. I don't think I can get rid of. Yeah, you can't get rid of that street. What configurations has it got? Can we get rid of that thing there? I don't think we can because I think that's part of it. So I don't think we can change that. We can change, but yeah. Okay, so we can't change this thing, which is a bit unfortunate because it's a bit of a nuisance. Um, I think the level looks fine. We'll whop up with a bit of the old smoothie just to make sure, just on this side, and then we need to whop in our road. So let's do that first. Um, wonder does it connect side on? I mean, this is all kind of doesn't really matter at this stage because hopefully it'll just connect through automatically. So here we go. Yeah, there you go. So he connects through automatically. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's okay. Now then, we have this thing here, which I think we still need. We need a large dock. I don't know. I've never tried. So let's try. That's a small dock. Let's put in a large dock. Will it let me do that? It will actually let me do that. So we'll put in the large dock sideways like that. It's kind of okay. From a dock point of view, I think we'll go down to the bottom of the thing here. We just want to be conscious that it wants to have enough space, right? So that's probably gonna look okay. We'll just do a little bit of a smooth. There you go. That doesn't look too bad, does it? So we've removed that small dock, we've put that in there, and that's fine. That's your dock. I mean, that's pretty simple and straightforward. Um, right. Let's have a look up here. I wonder how close we can get to this, because ideally, I don't want to have trucks. I want my boat to come up and just immediately drop off and immediately pick up. So we want to do the same similar kind of thing over here. It's quite a distance. This one, I'm quite happy for it just to be, like that. What does the road say? So we'll run our road there, and if we run a road directly there, will this pick it up? Oh, beautiful. Right, okay. So that picks it up automatically. So what we can do there then is we can do a little bit of smoothie so it doesn't look completely hat stand crazy, which is fine. And I mean that's essentially it. I mean we don't have good ends to the roads, which is a bit of a shame, but that's okay. And then we'll do the same thing that we did down the other side, which is we'll configure the dock by removing that one, and we'll put in a big one like that. We'll just check that. I think that's fine. So that is surprisingly painless. So we need a boat. Boat shed, I guess is what they call it, isn't it? They call it a shipyard. Um, somewhere. Um, I wonder how close we can get just without. So it actually looks like it might be part of the actual harbor. Just a little smidge there. Look at that. That looks nice. That's lined up nice. So this looks like it actually is all part of the thing. Now then, we're going to set up our line. Now you remember, of course you remember. Oh, I need to wait for this to kind of come together. All right. So, oh no. See, I told you ports were a nightmare. So that allows me to actually connect. So that bit that I removed allows me to connect. So because I removed it, I can't now connect. So what do I need to add in to connect? I need, what is it I need? Is it a landing? I need a large landing. Is that what I need? Yes, I do. Okay, right. So there you go. Told you even I'm not an expert. Not that I ever said that I was an expert. So you need your large landing. Boom. Right. So now it recognizes that there's actually a place for a large ship to land. That's great. We can then look at this line and we can add a station. So remember, it's going to go to the first place on your line first. So let's pick the actual place that we want to go to. So we've got Arrecife to Columnar Viejo. And if we go back down here, we want it to it's only got one place to pick up, so we want it to load with wheat, and when it goes up to the top, we want it to unload with wheat, and we want it to bring back food, right? Because what we're going to do is we are going to set up another little place next to it where we can pick up food and take it down to Arrecife. We'll not do that now. I'll be a little something I do offline, but there we go. And I probably wanted to name that. So that is Arrecife, columnar, I guess we're going to call it wheat ships. Because eventually I imagine there'll be more than one. Right, so there you go. So that's that setup, which is great. And then we need a boat. So, or more than one boat. So we like to look at the Denara Castle. Two compartments, capacity of 100, and it goes at 25. And that is the fastest and largest freight that we can. So we'll start with that, shall we? And we'll set that on that. Now let's see. It should go solid beans, right? And we should be fine. The only thing that I don't see is any actual wheat starting. See, now it's supposed to start. No offense, but it's supposed to start down here. So I wonder if I don't have cargo capacity, because no, it's showing as having 336 cargo capacity and it's showing as having 260. So I think that's fine. So why are you not now showing wheat? There you go. There's some wheat showing. So now that he's gone off in the wrong direction, we'll flip him around. The other thing we probably want to do, to be fair, with this line, is we want to make sure that this guy is only going full. And it'll take a little while for him to sort himself out, I imagine. That's only one. That's not an awful lot. I wonder how long he's going to be sitting here waiting if we wanted to get 100. That's one. Wow. Why is it taking so long? Because the place at the top is already well stocked. Right. You know what? Let's just get him running, get him going. Let's give the game time to sort its stuff out, because obviously also we've got here this guy he's not super well stocked. I mean, I don't know what the story is, and this is producing. We need to create some more demand, I think, for the food. So we need to create a little bit more demand. Anyway, that's that underway. So we got some boats underway. Fantastically amazing as they might be or might not be. It's a nice looking boat, isn't it? I don't think I want this guy's job. I mean, I feel like they should have some kind of covering on there for him, because that seems very exposed. And I think I've said this before with the Denara Castle. Yeah, well, just checking some things and looking. It's not bad, eh? It's not bad. Anywho, there you go. So he's underway. So we've got stuff. I need to finish wrapping this up in terms of moving this over here and getting stuff rolling. I mean, there's a couple of places left to tie in with cargo and various other bits and pieces, but I'm not super sure now that there's any more cargo lines I want to do on this part of the map. I think we've got quite a raft of cargo. I said I wanted to make this a loop line, and that's probably the last thing I want to do is connect this up with the loop. But I want to have a think about that and see if that's, what are we supplying and how are we supplying it, and does it make sense to include that loop line? But I think predominantly from a train and cargo perspective, at least the western side of the map is sorted. The eastern side of the map, I don't know really how much cargo we're going to need over here. I did mention that we have this little steel thing happening here that might be worth adding in. And we've got some goods here, which it wouldn't hurt to have more goods manufacturing. But I'm not sure, like, I don't know if there's much helpfulness up here, really. And this kind of thing, as we progress into the 1900s, really, this kind of thing will be easily serviced with trucks, if I decide to even bother, if it's even there. Uh, um, and again, this could be trucks that could supply the additional place over here with trucks. That wouldn't be a problem. This additional farm has come in, which is also can go up there with trucks. I don't need a train for that. We've got this hub down here, which is fine. So short of this little area here, I don't really think there's much more in the terms of trains that we need to put on the map. In terms of managing the trains, yeah, absolutely. We need to manage trains. We may need to change the length of trains. We may need to double up trains on some lines, etc. But in terms of actual hubs and train lines, I'm not sure there's any more cargo left to do for trains. So yeah, so this is very interesting. That's a big milestone. We haven't even hit 1900, and we may have all of our cargo lines completed in terms of where they're going and the connectivity. In which case, after that, we can focus on balancing, distribution, so ensuring that the trucks are getting all of the deliveries that they need to. The focusing on the getting it to the towns where they need to, and looking at our first passenger links. And now that we have a port down here, possibly we could even run passengers from it, from Arrecife, Antequera up there. It's a bit of a schlep. It is a bit of a schlep, but it might happen. Not really sure. Let me have a think about that one. Yeah, so there you go. And there's this little thing over here which has persisted in being here, which is just a little bit too far from everywhere. It's not quite profitable enough to make it a train, and it's just a little bit too far to make it a truck. But if eventually connecting it up here, we may be able to make it a truck line in the future. Again, if it's even there. So there you go. So we've come a heck of a ways. It's not even 1900, and we're pretty much done with all of our cargo lines now that we've put in this final sort of hub up here. And we can sort of then think about passengers and starting to shift passengers. So maybe when we come back and do the next one, I need to balance a couple of things out. I need to connect these. I need to finalize a couple of bits and pieces. So it might be a little bit of a while before I get back, probably maybe even closer to 1900. And then what we might do is we might have a look at throwing in our first passenger train line. And I wonder where the first passenger train line would be. And what do we want to do with that? Obviously, we've got a lot of cargo lines, which is great, but you probably don't want to run passenger lines on cargo lines. And eventually what we want to do, obviously, is we want to see if we can ever get to having some really big high-speed trains. I'm thinking that a coastline to Columnar Viejo wouldn't be a bad idea. We can still run it alongside the cargo track down here, but yeah, wouldn't a picturesque coastal line? We could put it out here somewhere. We could do a little bit of monkeying around, and we could peel it off and send it up the coast, and then we would have a high-speed coastal line that would even allow us to pull off towards the east side of the map. That might be an interesting an interesting first experiment. It's a long journey. I'm not really 100% sure if you make as much from passengers based on the length of the journey as you do cargo. Similar to cargo. I don't see why not. I mean, the idea is sound, I suppose. And I guess the other thing is if we have a passenger line out here, we could do a passenger line up this side to, the places like Palencia and Ubeda and so on and so forth. You could even just do a high-speed passenger line that goes around the outside of the map, as it were, and see if we can't peel people into that, peel other stations into that. That might be something of a thought. We have the cargo on the inside and the passengers on the outside. Something to think about. Anyway, there you go. I do hope you like it. I do hope you like what I've been doing so far. If you have, don't forget to click that like button. And if you're clicking that like button, why not subscribe? And if you are a subscriber already, then you probably like the channel. And if you do, why not consider membership? And if you like this video in particular, you can always drop me a super thanks, which would be super. Thanks. Until next time on Bonneyville, ta-ta for now.